Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. After multiple franchises and some intense moments, I'll say it, The Real Housewives needs to end. We, as reality television consumers, have astronomically high expectations. We have been spoiled with such exceptional series that when they don't feel like they're reaching the point of their heyday, we feel let down. Such is the case for The Real Housewives. The early seasons of the OG franchises have an important place in reality television. If you refer to a table flip or Scary Island or that cat meme, it's because of the impact the Bravo shows have had on pop culture. One reason they had such longevity is because of the ability to swap cast members in and out. The show would constantly shift as new friendships and rivalries emerged. And for a long period of time, we've used it as a band-aid. When we didn't like a cast or recognized a show was falling off a cliff, when certain cast members refused to film together, we beg Andy Cohen and Bravo for a reboot or recast. And now it seems the call for change occurs after every season now. It's a dark timeline for the Real Housewives cinematic universe as we learn that there may be an expiration date for these franchises. Since 2006, The Real Housewives has changed the face of reality television. As each new addition joined the family, they simply took off. They had a similar formula but showcased a different region of the country, and thus different stories. Some of the series were groundbreaking for the women they featured, such as The Real Housewives of Atlanta, or for their pop culture impact, like The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Others just couldn't find their footing, like The Real Housewives of DC. But in the end, the demand for more has always been at the top of Bravo's priority list. Unlike a fine wine, The Real Housewives doesn't age beautifully. And that's partially our fault. Unless you're a flat-out cancellation, fans demand a reset when they believe their favorite series aren't working. But when you do it so often, is it really helping or hurting? Cast swaps help with longevity. But is there actually a sell-by date on The Real Housewives? The shows has shifted from their original mission statement to prioritize highlighting drama at every turn, rather than showcasing the average wife and mother. You know, the reality television tropes. We don't want to see the shows go away, but have certain franchises reach the end of their rope. Perhaps the biggest sign that The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is in trouble was the addition of Rachel Zoe as a diamond holder. Her casting is a major move for Bravo as it marks her triumphant return to reality television, but to drop her into the turmoil currently embroiling the women of 90,210 seems like a last-ditch method to fix the bigger problems the series is facing. If you have Rachel Zoe to distract, then you don't have to force Kyle Richards to talk about her personal life. It all seems calculated, which is ironic. That's how certain storylines have played out. The Real Housewives of New York City has always been a top-tier series. But after Season 13's negative reception, Bravo opted to start from scratch, recast the series, and reboot RHONY. 2 seasons into the experiment, RHONY has a new set of woes. And it's the same issue every other franchise has experienced. Something's not working. And thus, the show is in that infamous Bravo pause. Across the Hudson River, The Real Housewives of New Jersey is facing its own limbo. Because Teresa Giudice and Melissa Gorga refused to film together, causing a rift within the rest of the cast. The show is currently chemistry testing as Dolores Catania is spending the summer with a new Italian-American friend group, as a new East Coast-centric series is on its heels. Does it mean there's a chance these shows could be kaput? With RHONY failing the reboot test, will other shows be unable to attempt the reboot theory? If it's too hard to completely gut a show, there have been ways to fix the chemistry with old faces. The Real Housewives of Atlanta was facing a massive cast drop before Season 16. So they brought back Portia Williams in hopes it would soften the uncertainty of the 3 new cast members. We've clearly learned that the Brit Edie experiment bombed. Right now, the only way to save RHONY is to convince Nene Leakes to come back and shake things up. There's always the opportunity to invite someone who has left and get them less work as a friend of, like Cynthia Bailey on RHOA or Taylor Armstrong, jumping from RHOBH to RHOC. The 19th season of RHOC is trying to bring an old friend back, Gretchen Rossi, back to the fold, but after watching the new trailer, it's hard to wonder if the sell-by date has arrived. When the trailer features a lie detector test to fill the 3-minute-long trailer, is it fluff or storytelling? The Real Housewives franchise has reigned as the crowned jewel of reality television drama. What started as a novel look into the affluent lives of women in Orange County has snowballed into a cultural behemoth, spawning city after city, reunion after reunion, and drink-throwing fight after dramatic walk-off. From Beverly Hills to Atlanta, Salt Lake City to Potomac, the formula has been replicated with such surgical precision that it's become less a series of shows and more a factory of feuds. But after all these years, multiple franchises, countless friend-of characters, and more than a few genuinely intense moments, I'll say it plainly, The Real Housewives needs to end. At one point, the franchise offered a voyeuristic thrill, a peek into the lives of women whose wealth and drama felt both aspirational and absurd. But now, the glitter has dulled. What once felt like semi-authentic chaos now feels choreographed. The wine isn't the only thing aging poorly. Manufactured meltdowns. There was a time when the conflicts on The Real Housewives at least appeared to stem from actual relationships, betrayals, misunderstandings, and legitimate personality clashes. In earlier seasons, you might find yourself sympathizing with one woman, cringing at another, and marveling at the awkwardness of it all. It was organic, messy reality TV at its finest. Now though, the drama feels increasingly forced. Every season needs a villain. Every trip needs a blow-up. Every reunion needs a moment where someone storms off in stilettos. Cast members are clearly aware of the formula and have become performers in their own high-stakes improv drama, playing to the cameras with an eye towards screen time and spin-offs. The reality has been replaced with reality theater. Trauma for entertainment. More concerning than the artifice is the show's increasing reliance on real, often traumatic events for plotlines. From cheating scandals to financial ruin, addiction to legal troubles, the show has leaned heavily into the real suffering of its cast members, and sometimes their families. We watched Teresa Giudice go to prison. Jen Shah's federal indictment became plot fodder. Erika Jayne's legal woes dominated an entire season. These aren't minor inconveniences, they're life-altering crises. And yet they're teased with dramatic music, edited into cliffhangers, and followed by talking head interviews where castmates speculate and shade. It's exploitative. And worse, it trains viewers to consume trauma as entertainment, rewarding pain with ratings. A toxic mirror. There's also something troubling about what The Real Housewives reflects back at us as a society. While it once felt like a satire of wealth and social climbing, it has gradually morphed into a celebration of dysfunction. The louder you yell, the more memorable you are. The less you compromise, the more iconic your tagline. Vulnerability, if it's not wrapped in a bow of sass and sarcasm, is brushed aside. We're encouraged to idolize bad behavior. She said what she said, after all. But beneath the glamour, these are stories of broken friendships, bitter rivalries, and often joyless lives. Are we watching to be entertained or to feel superior? Either way, the emotional toll on both viewer and cast has become too apparent to ignore. New cities, same story. The franchise's expansion was once a strength. Each new city brought fresh faces, regional quirks, and different definitions of glamour. Atlanta gave us charisma. New York gave us chaos. Beverly Hills gave us diamonds and denial. But as the series has grown, it's become increasingly homogenized. The casts may look different, but the structure is the same. Intro packages, parties, a trip, a feud, a reunion. There's little left to say that hasn't already been said in another city with a different backdrop. It's a game of musical chairs with designer handbags. Even worse, the newer franchises often struggle to find their footing, clearly designed more with marketing potential than storytelling in mind. When The Real Housewives of Dubai premiered, it was with the thud of a show unsure of what it wanted to be, flashy but soulless. The latest seasons across cities feel like filler content, not appointment television. The cultural moment has passed. Once upon a time, The Real Housewives captured a particular moment in American pop culture. The blending of wealth, women's empowerment, however superficial, and the rise of reality TV as a dominant genre. It was deliciously messy, often funny, and occasionally poignant. But the culture has shifted. Audiences are craving new kinds of stories, nuanced ones. Shows like The Bear, Succession, and Hacks are delivering drama and comedy without the emotional damage. Even reality TV is evolving. Programs like The Great British Bake Off, Queer Eye, and Abbott Elementary prove that you don't need to pit people against each other to entertain viewers.